Namaste everyone, मैं हूं सबसे भारी आकाश तिवारी and welcome to part 2 of photo stories with Rutger. And anyways, तुम लोग मेरा शक्ल देखने के लिए interested नहीं हो, so moving on directly to the topic. Next picture, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, it's Tomorrowland, and why I chose this photo, because the funny thing there is, this photo is so random, the lights are not balanced at all, there is no, it's not synchronized, it's not even, it's just as pyro going this way, there's no balance.
Was the stage designer? Please tell us his name. Please tell us his name. Who was the production designer?
I mean, of course, it was insane that stage. It was they're always insane, but this one particularly. But people really like a balanced photo where things are equal, or third or halfway. I don't know the English word for it. I do know the English word, but it just I just can't figure it out right now. When everything is like a laser photo and all the lasers are pointing to the right, they're not complementary. Why can't I figure out?
I got it what you meant. Oh, same.
Yeah.
Everything is like, I get it what. Oh,
shit. But obviously, and this photo is absolutely not like that, but it's still such a powerful image. It shows the size of the crowd and it shows the immensity, how overpowering that show is. You see these lasers going everywhere and you can just almost feel yourself standing there, and it's so powerful, and that's why I like it. It's a very it's a weird image because it's so weird, it makes it so attractive. And this angle is always great. I find it, there's not that many angles that work like really, really good. This one is always one of my favorites, but normally I always get a little bit nicer, more delicate photo. And this is just screams in your face, just bring out all the lights and you feel the sound waves hammering you. And it's so chaotic. And that's what I love about it, because being in that crowd feels chaotic. It's so overpowering. Being in that valley at Tomorrowland is just, it's so crazy. Maybe Sunburn has that feeling, because they also have a little bit of a valley type of feel. There's not many venues in the world that have that type, Maybe it also has it because of the buildings, but when you have that compact feeling, you really, it just makes it stronger. And this photo screams that, at you. And then it's a weird photo, but the few times that I post it, it always goes nuts. People really like it because it's an unbalanced photo, but because of that, it really tells a story. And I don't know, I'm just happy I got this shot, because you're always in a rush. And I think I was just going from one point to the other, and then I saw the lights come up, and I just stood still for like a minute, got this photo, and the greens and the reds, they make it even more powerful. It's a very, it builds up the color, even the bits of white. So I think the photo speaks for itself, but I just
and
talk about it anyway.
there are two things I want to say. Sometimes the imperfect things or the awkward things make it more, more.
I agree.
There's a lot of connection with that thing, because you're done with all perfect things. You need more awkward or more imperfect things to make it connect to you more. I think so that. And
I think usually, there's a rule of thirds. Everything has to be in parts of a third. But sometimes it's stronger not having that. It's a general rule. People, that's how people's brains work for whatever reason. You're going to go into the Fibonacci rule, where you look at the Mona Lisa with the curve. There's a reason why people feel like. But sometimes chaos works better. I like that.
Agreed. And there's this one more thing I wanted to add is that sometimes what artist creates with his or her perception, the viewer wouldn't actually completely understand that perception. But whenever you get to understand that perception, like what was your story behind it, now I'm getting more connected. Now I can recognize more elements when I see this the first time, and now when after you telling me, like there are so many things. When you said there's so lights, the perspective, the size of the crowd, the compacts things, I can feel everything now. Like it's something like I can understand it. Like I can see your
Yeah.
views.
I love old photos. I'm a sucker for old photos, and especially when there's a big description next to it. You know, when you can read a little bit of the background. And I know because nowadays we're in an Instagram age or TikTok age where everything just, you have a second to maximum 4 seconds, and everything goes so fast. And sometimes it's really good to take a breath and stand still. And that's why I love having a book, you know, which I brought out, or having a photo exposition, because people are there and open to being taught something, or being open-minded to getting a new experience, and to invest a bit of time into the experience. Because Instagram you don't invest time in Instagram. You just go pop, 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 like, pop, and you just go on and on and on. And when you have a book in front of you, you sit down and you've already opened your mind to the stories behind the photos. And the same is with the photo exposition. You know, people, you know, they pay money to go into a proper museum, and just they are ready to learn and engage with an image as in the way that I've envisioned it, you know. And in Instagram, you really just put in an image that, oh, it's pretty colors, I put it on Instagram because I get many likes. I try to get away from it nowadays. I'm stepping back. I'm just posting more on Instagram, and I'm posting a lot more photos that I know don't do well, because I just want to do that myself. And then every week I'll just post one really bright-eyed pop, and then I get a lot of likes again. And then the rest of the week I just want to do the photos that I like. And it's kind of disheartening to see very few likes on posts photos that mean a lot to you. But hey, that's the way it works, you know. Better than
In
not
a lot
posting
of
it.
active posts on Rutger Travels as well. Yeah.
Yeah. I've dusted that one off. Because I needed an outlet for my photos that have nothing to do with dance music. And, you know, I have scuba diving photos, I have shark photos, I have winter sports photos, I have travel photos that I never put on my Instagram because it just doesn't fit there. And so I've dusted it off. I mean, it's a small channel. I think I have like 600 followers or something like that. But I'm just going to invest in it and just slowly build it up and see where it ends, you know. We'll see. I just want to put them out there. And I always cross-post on my regular page, so at least people will see it, I guess. I have photographed every Tomorrowland weekend worldwide since 2008, so that is a staggering amount of Tomorrowlands. It's probably 25, 30 weekends times 3-4 days, so I've spent like 4 months in a Tomorrowland anywhere in the world, maybe more. I should do the calculation. So it doesn't get boring. But it gets repetitive. When I ever feel that coming in my mind, like I'm doing the same thing all over, people always ask me, "Aren't you bored of doing the same thing all over and over again?" No, because I can just take a moment, like maybe 10 seconds, and stand near that crowd or stand in that valley, and just realize how incredibly lucky I am to be where I'm at, and to be at a festival like that, and to be among people who love music as much as I do, and just realize that, and that's all I need. And it just doesn't have to get crazier and better or whatever, but just realizing your luck of being in that place, being at a festival, listening to beautiful music, that is just so worthwhile. And as long as you can do that, you're always fine.
This is beautiful, man. Thank you.
Wise words, right? But I really do that. I always count myself lucky wherever I am, even if I've been to that place many, many times. I think it's always special to be somewhere, you know.
That's why I love talking to you, man. The
Doesn't have
last
to be across the
podcast
world.
also was amazing. That has been one of the best podcasts in my life. And now this is like letting me feel everything without even going there. I
like
felt
that.
it. So this is beautiful. Thank you so much, Rutger. Thank you so much.
No problem, no problem.
Moving on to the next one.
Yeah, this is cool. So, well, Swedish House Mafia, obviously.
Obviously.
So this is their reunion. It's in Miami. So this was 5 years after they quit or disbanded. And there is obviously a lot of people around me. Obviously, I am lucky enough to be senior photographer for Ultra, so I can be on stage when pretty much most of the time. let's keep it at that. And I was really looking at these guys. You know, there's also people using flashes, and there's trying people to get them together, post and everything. But I didn't want to get the post photo. I mean, obviously, if they were posing, I would definitely get the photo. But I was kind of keeping my eyes open for that really, that tiny moment which shows their energy, because I was hanging around them, and I know all three of them reasonably well, as far as you can come
Of
get
course.
close to an artist.
Doing this
Yeah,
thing in the like more than 25
I
years.
I know them, you know. I'm not friends or whatever, but I know them. So I could tell there was the buzz was back again. You know, it was the original Swedish house mafia. The energy was there again, which they'd lost, you know, because they toured so much and they were on the road all the time. They missed their families, and you get mad because you just live in time zones and things are not real. And 5 years later, they're back again, and you feel it buzzing between them. So I was keeping my eyes open to see if I could get that shot. So I was ready. You know, there was very little light. So I had my camera ready, and I was just waiting, just looking at them, not doing anything else, just seeing how they would evolve. And then suddenly this magic moment happens with Steve, you know, looking at God. It was just, and it's actually not a great photo. And you know, look at the background. It is very busy. It's not perfectly aligned, but I just left it. I didn't crop it. I just didn't change it. This is that bit of moment. And actually, in retrospect, I really liked having this busy, horrible looking background, because it's such a frozen moment. You know, time's frozen for a second within a madness. You know, if you've ever been on stage with a big artist shows up,
especially this big, there's just this madness, and managers trying to get people away from the stage and getting space. And there's other photographers around me, and then just you got this fraction that exactly tells the story as it was. You know, and there with this is, and what else can I say about it? It tells the story, and I love telling stories.
This is like a moment, and look at the eyes, man. Like,
yeah. I think Steve has this photo. I think he asked me. I sent it to him time ago, and he said, "Can you please send me that photo where it looks like I'm talking to God?" I like that. So I sent him. I don't know if he printed it or whatever, but I love the guy anyway. I gave him my book a bunch of years ago, and he's a massive book and photo fanatic. So it was really cool. I always love being on stage with him because there's usually no tour manager around, but he's fine with having me around, you know. And it's so cool that if you're on a massive festival and the whole stage is empty, you know, it's just him behind the decks and just sitting there waiting for a cool moment while he doesn't feel intruded by it. You know, it's a weird kind of energy. It's really hard to explain, but it kind of feels like this moment. You know, there's this. You're disconnected from the rest of the world. Disconnected from reality. It's just these three guys living in that moment, and everything around them is just not important. It's them, and that's why this photo is so massive to me. It's just such an important moment in dance history, and I managed to capture it. I mean, it's fantastic. It's the happiest I can be.
now I can actually understand like why people call you like the best film festival photographer ever, and you're doing it since like more than 20-25 years. Like, this is why, you know, like crazy, man. Like, you made me go through every freaking place. Like, this was actually, I'm genuinely saying this, I'm not kidding. So the last podcast, it was so energetic and it was so much fun. I actually wanted to get into more depth and more deep side of yours, and I wanted to see like how you see the moment, and like you genuinely made me feel that I was there. Like, I was there feeling that moment, and that is a very difficult task. If you made someone do that, like, you have achieved something in your art. Like that's what I feel.
That's what I hope to do. That's why I keep doing what I do, even though it gets repetitive. It never gets boring, because there's always. I saw this beautiful documentary. It's about the best sushi chef in the world, Hiro. He has a tiny sushi place in metro station in Tokyo. It's really very basic, and he strives for perfection. And he said. It's this documentary is called Dreaming of Sushi. I can definitely recommend it. But what I loved about his philosophy is that he says there's always something you can improve, even though it's minor, if it's tiny. But you can always find something to improve, and that's what keeps me going, because it's never going to be perfect. There's always room for improvement, and the steps are getting smaller along the way. You know, you learn so much. But as long as you have that feeling, as long as you have that drive, I can keep going. And as long as I get the energy from the crowds and the energy from the DJs and the music and the pyro and the fireworks and the lasers, I'm a happy person. So hopefully I can do it for a long while. We'll see. Time will tell.
Rutger, all the best for your exposition, and like you've got already people, everyone, all the DJs, crowd. Arman has also sent a video message and everything.
Yeah, it's so cool of
So
him. I love that.
I hope the exposition is going crazy. It's still August,
Yep.
right?
It's
Actually,
finally
what?
reopened since two
Yep,
weeks. And
yep.
because it was closed for pretty much October, November, December, January, February, March, April. May. Oh my God, it's been closed for 8 months almost nonstop. So we're going to end of August, and then we're trying to see if we can go international or at least in Holland. But we'll see about that. That's just a lot of crazy plans we have, and we'll see where it ends.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to more such meetings. Every time a different flavor. Every time some new conversations. I hope we should do this like twice in a year. We should do this.
Yeah, just keep up. This would be nice. I love it. Keep
Yep.
my connection with India a little bit fresh.
Thank you so much
Hopefully,
for doing
let's
this.
hope December Sunburn will come back and it'd be possible to travel again.
I
I
hope
need to
if
get some
it's
proper
gonna.
Indian food. People sent me, I got some really cool recipes, but my kids are not into curry yet. But I'm just slowly trying them to get into curries and everything because I love Indian food. And then we figured out the naan bread. If you put Dutch cheese in it and you grill it, oh my God, it is divine. We can just eat it all day. So slowly getting there.
Are they habitual to spicy food? Like, are they habitual to
I love
spicy?
spicy food. My kids aren't used to spicy food, but they're slowly. My mother used to live in Indonesia when she was till she was 16. So when she went back to Holland and had me as a child, I was always, my brother and I was just get flames out of her ears and noses. We're so used to it. But my kids are, I'll get them. I'll wean them on them. Just slowly. They're still young. We have some
Oh,
time.
of course, of course. But like, if you're gonna come to India, we are gonna definitely meet for sure. We have to meet anyhow. Like,
Yeah, of
I'm
course we
super
will.
excited to meet
Sure we
you.
will. Likewise. Well, keep
Thank you
it.
so much for
And
doing this, Rutger. Thank you so much for
my
doing this.
pleasure.